Good morning, good morning, good morning. 8 o'clock on the dot. It is Tuesday. We're doing a public training session this Friday. Everybody's invited at 6 a.m. Pacific. Welcome, Team David Meltzer. Let's post up there how people can join us on Friday. Jakey, share. Jakey, fleshner. Good to see you guys. Zach, welcome. Good morning to you. Dean, as well. Welcome, welcome. Evan, Carmichael, my man. What's going on? Go Queens. Here we go. Evan and I are on our first business deal together. I am so excited. Anyway, please join me Fridays. We're doing a public coaching session. You bring the questions. I got the answers. You can email me your questions at david@dmeltzer.com, which will be pinned below once Team David Meltzer posts that up there. Or text me, 949-298-2905. There we go. We got this going. Good morning, Colleen. I see you there as well. Look at that. Whoop. David@dmeltzer.com is pinned below. That is for books, guides, exercises, everything's for free. Training for free Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. No, the other way around. 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. All right, let's get started. Here's the questions rolling in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. The best way to get out of a rut. Lean in. If you're in a rut, that means you're growing, accelerating. It's just like a pair of shoes. If you're stuck in your pair of shoes, that means your foot is growing. If anyone has kids, I got a 10-year-old. Every 3 weeks, it seems like I don't see him growing, but he gets stuck. He's in a rut. He's in a shoe rut. He has to lean in because he's growing and accelerating. I'm just too dumb, my memory to see it, and my senses are too weak to notice it. Let's get stuck getting stuck. Lean into being stuck. Enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. 99% of all people quit at 25% of the way there. Of the 1%, another 99% quit again. So be the 1% of the 1%. Enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. You'll never have that feeling of stuck. You'll actually be able to raise your awareness of the growth, acceleration, and appreciation that you've had on that journey to and towards your potential. Not other people's potential, your potential. You got that? All right, let's keep this rolling. Questions are loading in. Friday, we'll be doing a public coaching session. That's right, public. I will be coaching everyone. Bring the questions. I'll bring the answers. BYOQ. What's the most difficult daily decision you have to make? How much time to spend with my family? Because that's all I really want to do. That's what I do. Everything for the activity I get paid for is all revolving around my family. So balancing out how much they want to be with me and how much I can be with them. If you have 3 teenage daughters, I'm sure you can understand that. It's harder to understand how much they want to be with me. What was the in-person experience like at Thrive? Well, first of all, it was socially distanced, big facility. But the energy, I blew up, man. I got too much energy. I think I was a little bit too loud. But I was just so excited to be in front of a live crowd. Plus, they had about 1,000 people in front of me on screens. So it was just, I wanted to hug everyone, but I was being safe. But it was just so nice to see everybody in person. What extraordinary people are in Thrive. If you haven't checked out Cole and Sonia Hatter's group, it's one of my favorites in the world. And they got the best speakers in the world to come to help everybody. All right, let's have my friend Tanya join us. I think she's here. And for the great cause, I so excited to talk to Tanya with the Pencils of Promise. And we are building schools and creating programs so everyone can be educated. Oh, what's the hat say? Pencils of Promise hat.
There it is. I'm representing. Hold on. Everything is represented.
You got it. That's all. Branding, branding, branding. How are you?
How are you? And you can never be too loud. I was listening to you. Never too loud. I'm super loud.
I don't know what it sounded like. They could regulate my voice on TV. I wonder what it sounded like there. Because there's a big, they had a social distance. So they had a big studio. And my voice was on a microphone. But I was in front of screen. So I couldn't really, like you can pick up how loud you are. My wife was like, yeah, you're a little loud.
You got to have excitement. Never too loud.
All right, good. Well, I have a lot of excitement.
Me again.
I know I have so much excitement for what you're doing because, like I said, my biggest challenge is how much time to spend with my family to impact the world. And my greatest concern, my greatest focus is on my children. And my friends' children and the children's children and the generations to come. I want to leave this world a better place. And,
Love
you
that.
know, I think one of the simplest ways to change the world is through education. It's been a frustration of mine for over 20 years. Once I got old enough to kind of understand the political, bureaucratic, and financial situation in America,
Great.
it never made sense, you know, how we could spend billions of dollars and get, you know, $1 trillion instantly approved for something. And when it came to education, there's never enough money. And the lottery money was just a substitute for money that was already there. And
Great.
my mom being a second grade teacher. And then I hope that through this last 6 months, people really started appreciating what our education system does and
I
how we do
cannot
it.
agree more. I most certainly did. And I've been in education for 20 plus years. So I most certainly did as a CEO by day and a remote learning teacher by day to my 6 and 9-year-old. So I know firsthand.
Oh yeah, and persistence and patience, that blend that takes a CEO to the next level. That most people don't understand how you can be
Yeah.
a ferocious Buddha, completely persistent and fierce, but also patient. Those
And
things are.
kind and empathetic and all of it, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, I know you guys have a huge gala coming
Huge,
up.
huge. Can I
Huge.
get loud now? Huge.
Tell me all about the gala and how everyone's going to be there and everyone should come. Let's talk
So
about it.
yes, thank you for bringing me back on. I love your energy. You've been such a huge supporter. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So I want to begin by saying we have the biggest gala every year. And I've been in the nonprofit sector for now 25 years, so I'm dating myself. But I assure you, and I know I'm biased as CEO, I have never been to a better event. And in the midst of COVID, I will admittedly share with you and everyone listening, there was a moment, a quick moment of panic, as you can imagine, because this is a huge event every year. And I said, my God, we're going to go virtual. How does this work? We were very new to it, but we've had the great fortune of being able to tune in and talk with other peers in our industry that had to pivot quickly. And we've had a number of months to get ready. So everyone, October 22nd, Pencils of Promise, virtual gala at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are honoring Jay Shetty, that many of you know, and he's phenomenal. We're also thrilled to be able to honor our first employee, which is just so significant. For anyone out there who has read Adam Braun, our founder's book, The Promise of a Pencil, Lenoy was by his side when they built the first school, our very first school in Southeast Asia in Laos. And it's just so powerful to be able to honor her in this moment. And then have all of our global teams from Ghana, from Laos, from Guatemala tuning in. It will be the first time that all of our teams will be able to participate. And we're still going to bring the same energy, right? Anyone who's tuning in for $50. And I want to emphasize that we have an amazing price point for anyone listening, $50 for a virtual gala ticket. And just to put things in perspective, given we've been talking about education, for pop, it will cost us $75 to educate a student for a full year. And here we are asking you to join us, asking you to support our work for $50.
I know I teach people to ask, so I got to interrupt.
Yes,
Any of
please.
the people watching me, which I know on the live, will have, you know, a couple thousand that will run through here, and then the repeated for the day on IGTV. I think you should up it to $75 for me. If you understand sustainable, let's get everybody a whole year of education, not 2/3 of a
Yes.
year. So I know they're only charging 50, but if you can, you know, make an effort to give 75 so that everybody
Thank
knows
you.
what we do in a consistent, persistent way to empower, and it's sustainable. Look, how can you not want to change one child's life? I promise you, one full year of education. You know, don't buy coffee for a month. Do something. Figure out where that 75. I know it's COVID. You know, anybody literally, you know, on my private group, if you don't want to pay a month of private group and instead pay to Pencils of Promise,
David, thank
please put it
you.
in there. Of course. Anyway,
Oh,
and I
so
challenge Jay
we
Shetty,
have
you get all your followers to give
yes,
$75
Jay,
too.
and Gary Vaynerchuk, who
And
is
my
a
boy,
board member of ours and our co-host. Gary's been out there plugging it. Thank you, Gary. And we have Bozma St. John, CMO over at Netflix.
Yeah.
She is, as of last year, our first global ambassador for Ghana. And she will also be co-hosting. So we'll have Gary, we'll have Bose, we'll have
Yay.
Jay Shetty. And to really add to some excitement, for the first time since we've gone virtual, we have what we're calling our virtual after parties. So drum roll, what does that mean? That means that we will be having Gary Vaynerchuk, Jay Shetty, and Rachel Dratch from SNL hosting these virtual rooms. And for Jay Shetty, it's a fireside chat. For Gary V, for those who know Gary V, it is straight up just open conversation, anything goes. And for Rachel, she's giving you kind of an insight on what happens behind the scenes at SNL. So I encourage.
And what time is that at?
So that will be shortly after the program. So that should start anywhere between 7:35 p.m. or 7:40 Eastern. So we'll have 35 minutes of program with a start time of 7. Then we'll move right into our virtual after party. So just real quick for those listening, you go onto our website, pencilsofpromise.org, or better said, Gala, pencilsofpromise.org, so that you can purchase a ticket to go into our room. And as David encouraged, $75 as opposed to the $50. Thank you very much. And then we encourage you also to buy tickets to these after parties, which are a separate ticket price.
Awesome. Well, you can't get better people than that. And those are all my great friends. And anything Gary's behind, everyone, you know, my audience loves Gary as well, and Jay. So talk about the sustainability of this, though. You know, a lot of people raise money. I've dealt with so many charities, my sports agency for years. We wouldn't represent anyone unless they had a purpose or a cause behind it. The Unstoppable Foundation, which is a partner charity of yours with similar visions, and we're trying to figure out how to coordinate and support
Cynthia
each
is
other.
amazing. She and I have been speaking regularly. Thank you so much for that introduction. She is dynamite. She's fire.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm blessed. And as chairman of Unstoppable, our main focus is to impact others, to really change the world, not just to give money so that people feel they're people who need to get money, but to empower people through education. What are those empowerment principles that the Pencils of Promise, sorry for the alliteration, I just spit all over my room with all those P's. But anyway, what is that sustainability side of what you do? Because I think it's important for them to know that it's not just short-term money. This is educating someone for an entire year, but there's a lot more to it in the sustainability side.
Agreed. So the one thing I want to emphasize for everyone listening, POP has been around for more than a decade. And as I alluded to early on, we built our first school in Laos, and we now have to date 500. Those schools to date are still fully operational, which to your point speaks to our sustainability model. Right? We build schools, we're in partnership with the Ministry of Education in those schools. We have community buy-in and support. So when we build a school, or when anyone listening donates to POP, they know that this will be a school that will impact for generations to come. And we're also a learning organization. And I think anyone who wants to be philanthropic wants to donate to an organization that is always thriving to learn and can quickly pivot when the need arises. And so with POP, we've transformed ourselves. We've gone beyond just building schools. What I like to say, and we're saying now to everyone, is we build schools from the inside out, which means it's not enough to just build the bricks and mortar. We have comprehensive programming. In light of COVID, WASH programming, so that our kids are remaining healthy. Teacher support, so that our students are being taught by teachers that are prepared to thrive and have the strategies to be successful in the classroom. We have our menstruation hygiene program, so that we're removing obstacles. Because that's the other piece to education, David, that I know you know well. It's not only providing access, we have to remove obstacles to education so that our kids are spending more time in the classroom than out of the classroom. And then the last thing I would share, and I want everyone to know, that when COVID hit, very much like what happened here in the States when schools closed down, that happened in country. But Pop pivoted immediately. We created an education response fund, right, and raised funds to support our communities. We made sure that access to water in many of our schools that were now closed were still accessible to the communities that we serve. We were working on a text platforming, messaging platform so that we could communicate regularly to our teachers. And for our kids who are now at home, we were pushing reading content through their parents' mobile phones so that our kids could continue reading. So I can't emphasize enough that when folks support Pop, they are supporting an organization that is here to make the world better than we found it. And it'll happen for generations to come. Join us on Thursday, support our cause, help us end the year strong, help us set up for 2021. Just so excited to have everyone. And this is the first time that we can open it up to the masses.
And people can find you at Pencils of Promise. Where else can they sign up for the gala?
They can go directly to our website, which I've shared. They can also go to Insta. If people have any questions, they can email me directly. My information is on the website, Tanya Ramos. We are here to support. Let's get those tickets sold and come join us and celebrate Thursday, October 22nd, 7 p.m. I'm the cheerleader. Let's make it happen.
I will be there myself. Thank you so much. Remember, $75 an entire year of education.
We're pushing everyone. 75. Make it happen. Educate a kid for a year.
I tell everyone, if you are stressed, anxious, frustrated, worried, the best thing you can do, guaranteed, if you are depressed, is go do something for someone else. The best thing you could do is pay for someone's education. I would not be educated if it wasn't for other people that have given me scholarships. Please, please, please give. I don't do this often, but Pencil to Promise. If you don't like me but love Gary Vee or Jay Shetty, give anyway. But give.
How do they not like you, David? Are you kidding me?
Well, I appreciate that. Anything I can ever do for you, please let me know. And make sure everyone's there Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Bye.
Take care. At Pencils of Promise. What a great thing. We got to educate our kids around the world. Education is key, as you can see. You know, my mom used to always say, you think education's expensive? Try ignorance. And we're seeing that. So please, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. So that $75 will go a long way. And if you can't afford the 75, give the 50 and show up anyway. Check out Gary Vee. Check out Jay Shetty. You can't beat those two guys. So very, very good. Anyway, welcome. Let's take a few questions of my own. We are rocking and rolling. Very good. What made you choose the Course of Miracles to focus it on daily? I was doing research on forgiveness and understanding the power of forgiveness. And so many of my mentors, from Deepak and to John Asseroff and Blaine Bartlett and Cynthia Kersey and all these people had studied the Course for years. Mary Morrissey, great mentors of mine, Bob Proctor. And so I started to study the Course of Miracles, and my life followed that direction of the title. My life is a course in miracles. And so favorite, kind of like Wayne Dyer, right? The Power of Intention changed my life. So I read it every day. Think and Grow Rich changed my life. I read it every day. I'm a consistent, persistent person. So I'd rather read something a minimum amount of time every day than sit down and read it on a Saturday. That's just me. What's something that you've quit on in the past, and what did you learn from it? Chewing tobacco. The only things I try to quit on are things that are detrimental or create interference or corrosion to my connection to the great, powerful source of light, love, and lessons. Otherwise, everything's just pushing me towards that light, towards the lessons, towards something better to make me better. But I quit chewing tobacco when I was 39, so 13 years ago. And I joke around. I tried to quit since I was 25, on and off. I did quit, and I have a quantum addiction to nicotine. I could have one, never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I could have one chewing tobacco pouch and I'd be running to the gas station, not doing my lives because I'm so addicted to nicotine. So one, being aware of what my quantum memories are and my ego is, and moving from there to stopping, dropping, and rolling in the right direction. So otherwise, things were pushing me in the right direction. What book was that? Couldn't understand. The Course in Miracles. That's the book I read. Wayne Dyer, Power of Intention, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Some of my favorites always are there. What are the non-negotiables for your daily schedule? Number one, a minimum of an hour a day on my health. Number two, a minimum of 30 minutes with my wife, 30 minutes with my son, minimum of 2 minutes a day with my daughters. I asked for 5 and got 2. Minimum of 1 minute a day with my mom. Tell her I love her, appreciate her, I'm happy and healthy. And a minimum of 10 minutes a day studying the calendar within the context of hopefully a minimum of an hour and a half a day studying everything, paying attention to, giving intention to. Could that be my favorite friend? Is that him? I can see the roof.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
There he is. What's going on? Where have you been?
I've been real busy, but I'm back now. I'm back.
Busy means that you're not accessible, man. You're active. You're an active guy, right, Tochek? You're active. What have you been active doing? Tell me what you've been doing.
So I've been working on some of my other skills. I've also been working on school stuff, but I'm back now. I'm back fully on.
You're back
on Instagram.
And tell me the best lesson you've learned since last time we talked. What's the big lesson that you've learned?
One of the biggest lesson I've learned from you throughout since when I've been following you for I can't remember now. It's been over a year now. I know, sure. We're always in a consistent, persistent pursuit of our full potential, and I've learned that from you since day one, and it has stuck with me ever since.
And what potential are you pursuing? Everyone, especially when we're young, I pursued certain potentials that I didn't have great potential of, but I enjoyed them. Like for me, playing American football, I wasn't very good at it, but I pursued that so hard. What are the potentials that you're pursuing since you've learned that lesson?
I know that I have a passion, a dream of teaching people. I know I've had the love for educating people. I've also had a very deep love for electronics. I don't know why. I love the way. I can't see you. Can you see me, sir?
I can see you. I can hear you and see you. I get the better end of the
Okay.
deal if I can see and hear you.
Okay, that's good. But I can't see you clearly, at least. But I've always had a passion for electronics. I've also had a passion for speaking to people, for helping people. When I see someone down sometimes, you pick them up, you give them that confidence, that extra boost for the day. I've also had the passion for electronics, like I also said, always trying to know how things work. So I believe the potential I'm chasing right now is the ability to instill confidence and make positivity go viral, and also finding a new way to solve the world's problems. That is what I have in mind.
Have you ever thought of the parallels between the love of trying to connect emotionally with people to motivate and inspire them and electronics? I see great parallels between the energy that flows through inanimate objects and human beings and being able to effectuate the most efficient, effective, and statistically successful way of that current. The objects of currencies, right? We talk about, you and I, the currency of money and how that can impact our lives, but also the currency of faith that runs deep within you.
Yeah.
This great object of energy that you put into the flow to get what you want. And you can use that currency to connect emotionally. Electricity in motion, energy in motion, not only through inanimate objects that your curiosity is piqued by, but you have the same systematic parallel within the context of human beings and being able to effectuate that. Have you run those parallels and seen why that is of such great interest to you?
Like you said, emotions is energy in motion. Electronics is electrons in motion. And I believe when you are able to, for example, how are we able to communicate right now? It's through electronics. I'm on the other side of the world. You are 8 hours behind me. We are able to talk right now through what? Electronics. And I'm also able to impact people's life through what? Electronics at the end of the day. So I've been able to put those two parallels together, like you said. I know that I love doing this, but without this, just imagine a world without having electronics, for example. Now, we had the coronavirus that just passed us some few weeks ago. Imagine that. We wouldn't be able to talk right now you wouldn't have been able to inspire an audience right now. So I believe, yes, we could connect the dots very easily. I believe so.
And I'm going to get a little bit deeper with you. Let Timmy tell everyone how old you are.
I'm 14 years old. I turned 14.
14 years old. I'm going to get a little bit deep with you at 14. So certain things are quantum within your nature, right? The wisdom has been passed down, I believe, more than just your great-grandparents, from the grandparents to your parents to you, that we are born with a memory. We are born with a quantum memory that has lessons from maybe, not only generations past, but some people believe in multiple lifetimes past, multiple millions and billions of years, even some people believe. What do you think you were born with? Because you have such wisdom. I'm watching the comments. You and I haven't talked in a little bit, but you have a
Yeah.
huge fan base within my group of older people, and yet you have the wisdom far beyond your 14 years that you've been on Earth.
Now, the question is, how am I
Where do you
able
think
to?
that comes from? Do you think you were born with a greater wisdom or a memory, or do you think this was something that you just pursued and have matured, or a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. Because I believe every human being is born with that like a seed. Every human being is born with a seed. Now the choice comes down to us whether we want to water that seed, whether we want that tree to grow and manifest itself. I believe truly everyone is born with that seed. But the question is, are you willing to water that seed? Are you willing to take care of it and allow it grow? Are you willing to give it fertilizer to allow it grow? Are you willing to be patient to see the fruits? So I believe, yes, every human being is born with a seed. Every human being is born with that potential. But you also have to do the pursuing as well. That's what I have to say about this.
And that is a great combination of two laws that we both follow. One, the law of attraction, that what we put out there will be attracted to us. But there's also the law of Goya, which is get off your butt to take action. So it's action and attraction. What type of action at 14 are you taking in order to facilitate getting what you want in your life, to empower others to be happy, by educating, motivating, and inspiring others at such a young age?
What actions am I taking? One of the actions I'm taking consistently every single day is what we're doing right now. I'm talking to you right now. We're having a very nice conversation, and at the same time, we're inspiring people. Another action I take every single time is consistently working on my craft, reading books. I learned one very strong message from someone. He said, you can never elevate past what you know. So every single time you are constantly feeding yourself with the right information. And the last thing I do is I look within. I just take action. Just do it. You can plan, do what you want, do the background work. But at the end of the day, if you don't take that first step, nothing is going to happen. Because action is what leads to the reaction we're all looking for. Einstein's third law of motion: for every action is an equal and opposite reaction. Without the action, there is no reaction. And without the reaction, there is no result. So that is what I have to say. You can plan all you want. You can do whatever. You can do the background work. But if you don't take the first step, nothing is going to move. And I always say one thing to people that plan too much, or people that don't just take action. I said, if you weren't born perfect, nothing you ever do will be perfect. Just do it and you see the results. That's what I have to say about that.
And learn from those results. You have such a great attitude to learn from those results. I think we got to drop the mic now, my friend Timmy. You cannot leave me for this long again. Okay, you got to make sure that you're still on the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, enjoying it. I adore you, my friend. You are an incredible human being. I am here for you. I can't wait to talk to you again. Please, everybody, follow my friend Timmy. He's at, give him where you're at with the best. Is at Toe Check Media?
Yeah, at Toe Check Media.
There you go.
Type it in.
And he is a great example of being kind to your future self. Our future is bright with leaders like my friend Tammy, who is an intelligent follower, reads every day. And remember, everyone, the greatest lesson I learned from my friend today is you can't find outside of you what you can't find inside of you. Thanks so much, my friend. I will talk to you soon.
I'm teaching. Have a blessed day, sir.
You are
Bye.
blessed, and I'm blessed to have you in my life. Thank you, Tammy. What a great guy. Check him out at toecheck_media. He is the young Buddha, the wise one, 14 years old, going on 41. Incredible human being. Love him. All right. I got my friend Ben Kenyon here. He's fired up, and nothing's going to fire you up more than my other friend, Tammy. So we'll go to the other side of the moon here. There we go. Let's get Ben in here. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Tanya. And here we go, TT. And then here he is.
What's
In the car.
happening? Come on now. Fired up. Hey, Timmy had me going.
He's awesome, isn't he?
Oh my Lord. I was sitting there like, dude, how do we get him on everything? He got me fired up. How are you doing?
I'm terrific. How are you?
I'm well, man. I actually just had a weekend of clarity out in Zion National Park with my nephew. So I was able to just hang out, do our walk to see Angel's Landing, which was honestly beautiful to see. I couldn't go up there. It was just too crowded. But if you ever thought about going out there, you've got to check it out, dude. It's beautiful.
When you go up there, do you go off the grid completely?
I tried.
Yeah.
So this is my first time. I'm again. So working in the NBA, the crazy schedule, crazy life. I've learned to appreciate moments of clarity and space. And so honestly, during the whole quarantine and Corona situation, I've been able to kind of get out of town and go to like cabins, and so I'll pick and choose moments to kind of fall off the grid, and it's been like a straight blessing, dude.
You know, it's so interesting because I am not a huge advocate of going off the grid for
Mhm.
a long period of time. I'm an
Yep.
advocate of going off the grid every day,
Mm.
and having, you know, that time of peace and quietness and a practice of peace and quietness. And I'm a consistent, as you know, Tammy and I share, right? That
Yep.
consistent, persistent. I vacation every day of my life.
Yeah.
You know, I have certain things, you know, items that I have that allow me to vacation. You know, I have a 55 Ford Thunderbird that I bought for my wife for her 50th
Wow.
birthday, and I use all the time. So I jump in that. I jump in that for 30 minutes. You know, and you cruise the one freeway, which
Yep.
was, you know, when I lived in Akron, Ohio, it was a dream to drive
Yeah.
down the one freeway and with the beach in a convertible. And so, you know, it's 30 minutes of vacation, but every day. And I believe 30 minutes a day is worth way more than 30 hours on a weekend. Uh,
1000%.
you know,
1000%. So
and
I agree.
your great day squad is exactly about that. You know, own your meditation practice. What you guys are doing, you have an event coming up on the 22nd, right?
Yes, we do. So own your meditation practice. Actually, two steps back.
Yeah.
Great Day Squad. We're all about inspiring your best performance. I want to help people improve their mental and physical well-being. We focus on helping people thrive in their career, in wellness, and in relationships. And so what we host is virtual mental workshops that are super awesome, super amazing. I bring in all my cool friends. This week we have the head or the director of the Houston Rockets athletic performance, Javar Gillette, really awesome dude, and he's going to talk about owning his meditation practice. And it was a cool conversation that we actually sparked back in like May, where he had to learn to slow down in the morning, and because we're so used to like get up, go to work, execute. Well, we didn't have to do that anymore, and so he had to actually learn how to like wake up and stop and just reflect. And so that's kind of where we got the own your meditation practice from, because we all have gone through that process of like, all right, times have changed, and we now have to perform for this space. And so this Thursday, we're going to talk about that and meditation, mind and body, being able to connect that, and just continuing to add to your practice, is the game that we play, just because it helps us thrive in this environment.
I'm going to use a little bit of transformation into what you're saying, because I come from originally a very pragmatic, closed-minded energy, right? A world of not enough, where I was a victim. Things happened to me, completely scarce and competitive. Became a
Yep.
multimillionaire, stayed within the context of scarcity,
Mm.
in the realm that everything was for me. And I see a lot of athletes, celebrities, entertainers that I work with still living in the world of just for me, buying
Mm.
things they don't need, you know, to impress people they don't even like. And they end up in bad places, just like I
Yep.
did. But I think it's important for people to understand, although the focus in wellness and health and nutrition and meditation and quietness and all these woo-woo sounding things, I will tell you the greatest benefit of all of those woo-woo things
Mm-hmm.
is it brings front and foremost the pragmatic currency of money. Nothing will change your financial well-being more than your well-being. If your
Mm-hmm.
relationships are better, if your frequency is higher, if your health is better, if your wellness throughout is better, nothing will change your financial situation more
Yep.
than
Yep.
what you're teaching. And yet sometimes we shy away from that, and it takes a third party, someone like me that's worked within that transformation and said,
Yep.
look, I live in two currencies, man. Currency is faith, an object of energy that I put into the flow to get what I want with wellness and health and happiness and all the things that I teach. But I also believe there's a currency of this vibration that allows me to shop. It's called
Yep.
money. And if I
Yeah.
shop for the right things, not things I don't need, right? Not things to impress anybody, but literally things that can empower other people to be happy and well, I'm going
Yep.
to be happy myself. And you are part of my mission. I'm always looking for 1,000 people like Ben that I know in their lifetime will empower 1,000 to empower 1,000. In your
Yep.
lifetime, a
Appreciate it.
minimum of 1,000,000 people will be changed. In my lifetime, if I can find 1,000 people to change over 1,000,000 people, that's going to be over 1 billion people as a collective
Yes.
consciousness. How, when
100%.
I'm talking crazy shit like this, coming
Yeah.
from a pragmatic guy who's made more money than most people, lost more money and made it back than most people, I'm a money guy. I'm a
Yep.
money guy. It's not buying me happiness, but it allows me to shop. What is that idea when you got a 52-year-old middle-aged mutant turtle like me telling you, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to change the consciousness of the world, one person like you at a time, to empower people simply to be well and happy. It's going to change the world. Do you think I'm full of shit? Or do you think that we actually can change the world together?
So I love it. You said, how old are you?
52.
52. That's an amazing thing that you're sharing your age. I feel like there's a lot of people that don't understand. Like this shit never stops, right? Like so Timmy, right? Timmy's on fire. He's 14. The goal for us right now is to keep Timmy on fire. How do we
Right.
keep Timmy on fire? We continue to pass the torch, right? We continue to say, hey, here's other people that will keep you inspired. And I think that's the main point for what I'm taking from what you're saying is just like you're not full of shit. I'm working at the highest level, working in a space that honestly you do see a lot of ego, you do see a lot of insecurity, you do see a lot of money issues. Has shown me, damn, social equity is very important. Damn, caring about having resources to actually multiply the positive things out there in the world is very important. Why? Because once you take the money away, because like I think you said it, you lost money.
Yeah.
You'll lose at one point in life. And again, it may not be money. You may never lose money. You may be really good at maintaining that, but you may lose other things. If you don't have that kindness, if you don't have those core values that are going to be staples for you, one thing that we always talk about during our workshops are our core values. They're the strength to our foundation. You just screamed out a whole bunch of core values that are strengths to your foundation. And I think as a 52-year-old, it's your duty to now pass that on, right? Again, it's never going to hurt you. Abundance. I mean, dude, I've done a couple of different decks, right? And I've done my research on businesses and all. There's a lot of money in the world, dude. There's a lot.
A lot.
There's
Yeah.
a whole lot of money. And it was funny. Somebody's like, man, that's a competitor. I'm like, it can't be a competitor, dude. If they can go out there and get $15 billion, I'm going to be real with you. I'm signing up for their thing. I'm going to just put my thing aside and make sure that I jump on their ship, because we all can go out here and eat, but it's on the 52. It's on the wiser people to say, hey, this is how you can do it. Hey, person that aligns with my value, aligns with my mission, this is how you can do it. Because if we continue to hoard and have that mentality of scarcity, honestly, we'll stay in a space, our world will stay in a space of negativity. And honestly, when I came across you a while ago, before Laura even brought you up, I really enjoyed that about you. I was just like, dude, he's speaking my language. He's speaking to some sort of faith. He's speaking to some sort of just core values. Your core strengths resonated with what I was up to. And so for me now, I'm saying, all right, this dude, never met you before. I can say, hey, he's a mentor for me from afar. I'm going to continue to just pay attention and listen. And the fun part about the universe is, as long as you pour into your values, at one point you actually align with the people that you need to align with. So I really appreciate everything that you're sharing and what you're doing, because it does help me see what my future can look like.
You know, it's so fun because you have the same frequency between Tanya, who has Pencils of Promise, who, you know, is here as a woman in America helping Laos in South Asia. Then you have
Mm-hmm.
Timmy in Africa, you know, young African American. You got Ben, you got myself, all on the same frequency of gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration. All have one common habit, which you really stress, which I love, is I can't encourage people more to take inventory of your values every day. I
Yeah.
think one of the biggest components, the dummy tax that I paid through my life, which if you think, you know, state and income tax, federal tax, everybody's worried about taxes in this election. You
Yep.
don't worry about that, because if you take care of the dummy tax, you can afford all the taxes you want. Trust me, I've
Yep.
paid the dummy tax. I don't want other people to pay the dummy tax. It's the
Yep.
most expensive tax that we have. I want people to, you know that the way that we get places faster is find someone that's already there, like the $15 billion guy, and ask him for directions. Don't be so afraid to ask for directions. And you can't ask for directions unless you know your values. You can't find outside of you. You can't find outside of you what you can't find inside of you first. So you got to know those values. And I really appreciate you coming on and showing the entire spectrum of variance from the pragmatic world to the faithful world. But also, most importantly, how important the foundational values are: personal, experiential, giving, and receiving. And you don't have to pick a mentor that's right in your house, right? You could pick a mentor. This thing called the internet allows you to find people that may not look like you, smell like you, sound like you, but they share some sort of frequency with you
Yeah.
that is going to take you to the next level. That's what we all want to do. And I'll tell you, as I finish up with my last question, there is a world of not enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything happens to those people. They're the why me people, not the try me people. Then
Yeah.
there's this majority of the world that thinks they're positive. They live in a world of just enough. Just enough for me. I got my rent paid. I got my house. I got my wife. Just enough for me. My kids may be in college. But if you can cross over into the world of abundance, a world
Mm.
of more than enough, and
Mm.
believe there's enough of everything for everyone. I did a video about money doesn't disappear, and I was talking about perceived value. And if you have a perception that money disappears, it's going to disappear. There's not enough of it. But when I said money doesn't disappear, that's because I have a mindset that
Yeah.
there's enough of everything for it. How can money disappear when there's more than enough? And
Yeah.
what the real value is determined by what's inside of me. That's what I get outside of me. What can people do as a first step? I mean, you're doing your October 22nd thing, own your own meditation practice coming up. You got the Great Day Squad. All our discipline strategies in this continuum, this spectrum. What can people do to take inventory of their values every day?
Yeah, honestly, it's the start of the day. So I start my day. I think you mentioned something about how you take a 30-minute vacation, right? So I honestly I do that, right? So I start my day with 20 minutes of meditation, and then I jump into about 5 to 10 minutes of prayer, and then I go work out. So what that actually gives me space to do is to have clarity, right? Sometimes I have my music on when I'm working out. Sometimes I don't, right? But what's going through my head, obviously, we've got 1,000 thoughts happening, obviously, during meditation. When you're praying, you're kind of throwing thanks out there, or you're asking for certain things. But by the time you get to that training piece, your blood's flowing. Now you can say, all right, here's my goal. Here's my value that I'm going to stand on today. I'm going to be gracious. I'm going to have nothing but grace today. I'm going to be faithful today. I'm going to have passion today. Whatever it is, call out a word every day, and that'll actually allow you to now add to your catalog of values, you know? And I think it's not just having like one, you know, we have a lot of different things that we can find as core values. It's just finding the sweet ones that actually bring you joy that morning so that it allows you to thrive through the day. And being able to write it down and say, hey, like, I had an amazing day when I did this routine. I meditated, I prayed, I trained, and I ran with passion today, right? And guess what? All these great things happen. So I'm going to use that next week when I have this big meeting. I'm going to use that next week when I have this crazy appointment that I've got to step into and knock out the park. So I think it's all about starting your day with a strong foundational piece of meditation, prayer, training, and then on top of it, adding that value word that's going to get you through the day.
Absolutely. And the only thing I'm going to add to you is you got to have forgiveness, because the human makeup is so fallible that we can't do. We just get in our own way. And as much as you may wake up that morning and say, I'm going to be grateful, I'm a man of gratitude. I teach
Yeah.
gratitude. I got practices of gratitude. I have to tell everyone there's not a day that goes by that I miss a chance once in a while to not be gracious, that I find myself in a place of scarcity, that I find myself in a place of fear. That's why I have a continual practice of ending fear, because that
Yeah.
ego-based consciousness is always there. And sometimes I forget to say thank you. And sometimes I have to do attitude, not I get to do attitude, a why me attitude, not a try me attitude. So what I want to encourage people to follow Ben, to go to his events, to make sure that you learn from people like Ben. But most importantly, there is no hold to what we teach. It's a practice. And so you're going to screw up, and you're going to just forgive yourself. That's why someone asked me, why do you read the Course in Miracles every day? Because it's a forgiveness-based test. It reminds me that I am a spiritual being having a human existence, and part of the human existence is the limitations that the human embodiment gives me, including the ego, to protect that embodiment, which causes me to not do things that I want to do. And so when I do things I don't want to do, forgiveness is the key to peace. And you and I both start our day the exact same: 20-minute meditation, prayer, and then I get ready to go work out. And my favorite prayer is, may God put in front of me 10 people that I can help today. And I'm so blessed that you and Tammy and Tanya all have been placed in front of me. And hopefully I can help you in any way to support you and what you're doing on October 22nd or anything else. Where can people, it's at Ben_Kenyon, but where else can people find you and sign up for the squad?
Great Day Squad on Instagram, or you can go to greatdaysquad.com and go sign up for our email list. It's not up and running just yet, but the email list is right there. Then Ben Kenyon on Instagram as well. I'm on fire, and I honestly thank you, dude. This is super awesome. And one day I'm going to have you on one of the mental workouts. I need you on there.
All right. All you got to do is email me,
Cool.
david@dmeltzer.com. I'll make it a priority. Any friend of Laura, like I told you, is a friend of mine. And I'm just so excited I got to meet you. Likes attract likes, and you are a soul brother of mine. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man.
Have a great day. You're blessed.
Yeah.
Take care.
See you.
All right. The great Ben Kenyon, of course, the Great Day Squad, October 22nd, his next Own Your Meditation practice, working with celebrities, athletes, entertainers at the highest level. So many people share the same philosophies, the same activities in order to create abundance, more than enough of everything for everyone. Let me take a quick question. Remember, Friday, public training is available to everyone. And it's 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's free. My exercises, guides, books are for free. The playbook is out today. Entrepreneurs featuring it. Spotify features everything. I have a playlist of all my trainings featured on Spotify. If you didn't get the exercises, guides, or my books for free, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you haven't, join my text community. It's pinned below, 949-298-2905. What is the most valuable lesson you have learned as a speaker? Lessons and stories. Lessons and stories are the most valuable thing I've learned as a speaker, if you can combine it with time. So knowing how long it takes you to teach a lesson by telling a story and being able to plug that. Ken Austin aired today, the playbook. Thank you, Jake, for reminding me. He is increíble. That means incredible. Check it out on Spotify, on Entrepreneur, on every platform what you like. But lessons and stories. Life is about lessons, and the way we teach lessons is to tell stories. If you know the timing of those stories, you can build a 15-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute, hour and a half speech without using notes, just knowing what stories and lessons you want to tell. And you create a introduction to those stories and lessons, and a conclusion reiterating lessons and the stories that you told, and you will be a fantastic speaker if you practice it. Speaking's like clapping. If you can't give a speech to the same confidence that you clap, you're not there yet. And so just keep practicing, keep speaking, keep helping and inspiring and motivating and telling stories and lessons in order to do so. Greatest lesson that I've learned. Thank you everyone for joining me. Remember, this Friday, every Friday is training, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern time. It is a public coaching session, BYOQ. Bring your own questions. I'll bring the answers. Submit your questions to david@dmeltzer.com or text me 949-298-2905. And remember, everybody, most importantly, be be kind to your future self, and do good deeds. Have a great day. Thank you to all my guests.